So I'm just going to quickly introduce myself. My name is Emily Krause. I'm the Community Success Coordinator for Second Harvest here. I'm joined today by Pat Jocelyn, Community Success Manager, and Veronica Summerhill, who's our Senior Manager. And together we are the support team for the Second Harvest Food Rescue app. The three of us and a lot of other members of our team, along with our developers, Redbit, have been working really hard to get this site released and into your hands and your computers. And we're just so thrilled that on Monday we were able to release fully. We've moved over to our new site and really excited to introduce this to you today and answer any questions that you may have about the changes you may have already noticed. To begin, I'd love to start with a land acknowledgement. So while we meet today on a virtual platform, we would like to take a moment to acknowledge the Indigenous peoples of all the lands that we are on today. We do this to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and to improving our own understanding of local Indigenous peoples and their cultures. From coast to coast to coast, we acknowledge the ancestral and unceded territory of all the Inuit, Métis, and First Nations people that call this nation home. Please join me in acknowledging the harms and mistakes of the past and to consider how we can each, in our own way, try to move forward in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. Thank you. For those of you who are not familiar with Second Harvest, we are Canada's largest food rescue organization and experts in perishable food recovery. Our dual mission is no waste, no hunger. It is our commitment to the planet that is both environmental and community focused. We have an incredible 36-year history of rescuing unsold surplus food from across the supply chain and redirecting that food to charities and nonprofits to serve their in-need communities. The Second Harvest Food Rescue app is a program run by Second Harvest that supports over 2,300 nonprofit and charitable partners across Canada. So we do that by providing them a tool to access healthy surplus food from our food donor partners. Our free web and mobile food rescue app enables nonprofits to have access to available food donations in their communities that would otherwise end up in landfill. While you may be familiar with us as foodrescue.ca, we are now called the Second Harvest Food Rescue app. And we're here to help coast to coast to coast. So while today this presentation is being made by our support team, your main points of contacts here at the Second Harvest Food Rescue app are your contacts from the National Head of Operations team. So you can see in the image here that—
Emily, just make sure—
I'm not sharing yet?
Yeah, just share your screen there.
Thank you, Pat. Let me just get that up. Sorry, guys. Here it is. Apologies, everybody. There we go.
Perfect.
There we go. So our beautiful head of operations team, you can see they are available coast to coast to coast. So wherever you are located, you will be able to get in touch with somebody who knows about what's going on in your region. So we've got Mike all the way in the east and Lisa all the way in the west. And Pat, you should have access to a link there to drop in the chat box where you can find your local head of operations contact information. Let's see here. Okay. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time to be here from this introduction today. I'm so impressed with the interest and engagement in our new site. And we've been working on this for a long time. We're really thrilled that we're finally able to share with you the Second Harvest Food Rescue app. I just want to reiterate that you can now access our site by typing foodrescue.secondharvest.ca. Previously, it was just foodrescue.ca or beta.foodrescue.ca for a short time. Both of those sites will be redirecting to our new foodrescue.secondharvest.ca for you in case you forget. But in the future going forward, when you want to access our site, you can do so by heading to foodrescue.secondharvest.ca. And feel free to log in and follow along within your own account during our live tour if you'd like. Our main website is also now through Second Harvest, so that is simply secondharvest.ca. And you'll be able to learn all about all of the other programming that Second Harvest runs in Ontario as well as across Canada through that site. I just wanted to give a quick overview of what we're going to be going over today during the next 55 minutes roughly now. So we'll be starting with a live tutorial of the Second Harvest Food Rescue app. This will include our new available donations feature, updating your location information to include any trucks you may have access to, how to update your site features, so things like notification settings, and our new parameters around completing your rescues. We'll then be going into a quick overview of our mobile app, which is of course still available on Android and Apple. Thirdly, we will be going into accessing our safe food handling resources. Of course, safe food handling is an extremely important part of rescuing surplus food with the Second Harvest Food Rescue app. So making sure that you are practicing safe food handling practices at your location and while you're rescuing with our donors on the app is of extreme importance. And we've got a lot of awesome resources to offer you, as well as our new free e-learning course. We're going to be showing you the updated terms and conditions, which we emailed you about on Monday, along with the information for this webinar. But we'll just be giving you a link to that again. And of course, we'll be saving at least 15 minutes at the end of the session for your questions, which I'm sure you have plenty of feedback, questions, anything you want to communicate with us about the new site or really anything along about it at all. We'd be happy to hear, and we want to discuss with you. So we're gonna keep at least 15 minutes for that at the end of the session. And just as we get started, Pat, I wanted to start up with a quick poll. How long have you been rescuing with the Second Harvest Food Rescue app, previously known as foodrescue.ca? We're curious to know how much you know about us and how you've been interacting with us in the past. Wow, it looks like we're getting, oh, it's a tight battle. This is so awesome to see. I don't know if you guys get this live view here too, because I'm sharing my screen. It's a tight battle. Really, really cool. I'll leave it up for another 10 seconds to get those final questions in. Yeah, so it looks like, sorry, Pat, were you gonna say something?
We'll end the poll now.
Wonderful, thank you. So it looks like we had a big number of you join us since COVID-19 started. So that would have been about a year ago now, if we can believe it. Good number coming from before COVID and also more recently. That's really awesome to see. You know, those that have been here since the beginning, thank you for your dedication. I mean, you've seen us along the whole ride, and I'm sure the changes that came in on Monday were really exciting for you, especially. And anybody coming on more recently, we're just so happy to have you, and really pleased to answer any of your questions about the app. So let's go right into it. We're going to get started with the live tutorial of the Second Harvest Food Rescue app. As I go into this tutorial, I just want to make sure I highlight that I'm going to be giving the demo in our testing environment. That means that this is not the real website. This is sort of a mirrored fake environment. It may be a little bit slower than what you're used to seeing, but all the functionality is the same, barring a couple of extra things you may notice in here. So I'm just going to quickly log in. And while that loads up, as I mentioned, it's a little slower than our live site is, but as that loads in, we're going to be going over some of the brand new changes. So the first thing you'll notice once this loads up is our beautiful new dashboard. I'm sure you've seen this already in your accounts as you've logged in, but you'll be able to see all of the statistics of rescues you've made to date. So these are statistics for the last 12 months. If you've been here longer, you can still access that data by reaching out to us. And coming soon, you may notice there's a little reporting feature here. It's not live in your websites yet, but that is coming down the pipeline, and we'll be really excited to release that to you. Just that's the extent of our tiny sneak peek that you get for joining our webinar today. So you can see on your dashboard, you've got access to the number of meals rescued. If you want to know a little bit more information about these metrics that you see on the dashboard, you can hover over this little information icon here in the top corner, and that'll give you a little bit more information about the metrics. So you can see that these 39,590 meals rescued is based on the industry standard of an individual consuming 1 pound of food per meal. And the same is true for these other categories. I do just want to remind you that for every pound of food you rescue through the Second Harvest Food Rescue app, you are actually averting food from ending up in landfill. And let me say that again, you're averting perfectly good, unsold surplus food from ending up in landfill, and anything that ends up in landfill attributes to our greenhouse gas. So just by rescuing with the Second Harvest Food Rescue app, you're also reducing greenhouse gas emissions. And you can see that metric here in your dashboard as well. I do want to go over as well that these numbers do the total number of rescues made and the businesses you've interacted with. These do not need to be large numbers. If you have one really great relationship with one donor, that is awesome, and we're so happy to hear that. You don't need to be striving for large numbers there. And you can see the rest of these dashboard items with your donation items. I do want to highlight up in the top corner, we've got our need help button. If you do ever need help, you can click that here. You'll be brought to this request form, and you can submit that. And that will be a direct way to get to our national head of operations team if you don't have your email open on hand. Previously, you may have known that your personal settings were located under your name. You can actually move right over to the left-hand menu. That's where all of our current functionality is going to be on this site. So you'll click on User Profile, and you'll be able to make all of these edits in your own personal account settings. So you can see there's this little pencil icon that's going to provide you the ability to change any of your personal settings, as well as your contact information, your password. And what I wanted to highlight here at the bottom are your notification settings. You may or may not already know that we do have SMS notifications. These are not automatically turned on when you register to join us on the Second Harvest Food Rescue app. If you are interested in turning on your SMS notifications, this is the screen to do it. So again, through your user profile. And you'll notice I'm not able to click this tab right now. There's a little reminder at the bottom here that your mobile number needs to be set for SMS messages to be sent. So to do that, I will have to go up to click the edit button on my contact form and put in my mobile number. And this is just a random number, as is all the information you're going to see in our test environment today, not attached to any real NFP or donor addresses or contacts. So you'll see the pop-up here, your profile has been updated, and I am now able to turn on my SMS notifications. And again, you'll see that your profile will be updated. So that will save automatically, and we can actually move right along into our next section. So organization profile is where you're going to find all the details about your organization, as well as the rescue locations under your organization's banner and any users associated with your organization. Now, I do want to highlight that depending on your role at your organization, you may or may not be able to see all three of these menu items: details, users, and locations. If you are a key contact, such as Laura, so who I'm logged in today as, Laura was the person who registered her organization's account on the Second Harvest Food Rescue app. So she has access to the entire account and the ability to make edits and changes. Anybody who is loaded in as an admin user will also be able to make all changes. But if you are a food rescuer on the account, that means you're able to rescue and view all of the donations that your organization has picked up. You may not be able to see this user tab here. And if you wanted to make changes in this organizational profile section, you would have to reach out to the person who added you to the account or your organization's key contact for the Second Harvest Food Rescue app. They'll be able to make that change. If you're not sure who that is, hit that Need Help button. We can assist you in finding out who that is and if there are appropriate changes to make. So I'm just going to go into the user profile here. You'll see, as I mentioned, people have different roles. We can see that Leela is an admin, so when Leela logs in, they will be able to see all three of these sections. Whereas when Lily logs in, they do not have admin status, so they would only be able to view the information in details and locations. And I'm just going to walk you through adding a new user, this bright green button. We can go in and add Leon Lunch. He is a cook. His email is a general one. And I'm going to put in a random business phone again. So Leon is not an admin user, so I'm not going to click that toggle. And then we can choose to add them to all locations under the account, but truly Leon works at our location in Port Coquitlam, sorry. So that's what we're going to click here and click save. Another thing, just keep an eye out for these little information buttons. They're super handy. So you can see here that new users will not appear on the user list until they've activated their account, which is a change from our previous site. So you'll notice that when I click save here, and hopefully I put enough numbers in the business phones section. And again, it's just taking a little bit longer because we are, there we go. We're in that testing environment. So you'll notice that our new user is successfully added, but I do not see Leon under the user list, and that's because they have not activated. So if a few days go by, you don't see Leon loaded into that list yet, reach out to Leon, reach out to us. We can assist in making sure that they activate their account and they can begin rescuing with us. I did want to ask a quick question before I go into this next section. So let's show here. This is introducing another exciting feature that we have on our new site. So you'll notice here there's a picture of a truck, some large food donations that are on pallets, and the inside of a truck here. So I have a question. Do you have the capacity to rescue donations of this size? If you do, we do need you to pay attention to this next section because there is a new feature on our new site where we can specify that we're able to pick up really large donations. So we'll go into our location section of our organization profile, and you'll notice we'll be able to customize our table. You can actually add all kinds of columns and adjust what you want to see in your location list. I see that mine has popped up as I had previously set it up. And you'll notice that there's a column for refrigerated vehicle. We've got refrigerated vehicles at our locations in BC and Alberta. And finally, our Laura's Lunches PS has not updated their information yet about their refrigerated vehicle. So we're going to go to the right-hand side and click Edit and scroll down a little bit. Of course, we can edit all of this information. You'll notice that actually our health inspection date, I forgot to update that when our inspector came in January. So let's head over to January 15th when they arrived, and I can update that as well. Always good to keep that information put in as it happens. And finally, you'll see at the bottom of this page, does this location have access to a truck that can transport full pallets of food? So like those pictures you saw, we do occasionally get really large donations posted to the Second Harvest Food Rescue app, and we want to make sure that the agency partner that claims that donation does have the capacity to pick it up safely and in full, which means in some cases that they do require a truck. So we're going to update our Pauline PS location that they do in fact have a truck available, and you'll see there are two more questions that pop up. Is the truck refrigerated? So our truck at Pauline PS, yes, it is refrigerated, I'm happy to say. And the third question is the truck dock level, which means is it at a height where it can be loaded directly from a warehouse dock into the truck? And our truck at Pauline PS is not, so I'm going to leave that as no. And then you click save, and you can make adjustments again to all of these fields here as you need. So let's save that. And that is our changing our organization profile. So the next exciting part I want to show is in our rescues tab. So you'll see, again, we have a drop down of a few items here. And the first one is called our available donations tab. So if you've been a mobile app user for a while, you may be familiar with the available donations view. But for the web app users out there, this is a brand new view. So you'll be able to see any active available donations in your area that have not yet been claimed. And you can view these donations, click into them and view them. So here at Pauline PS, I know that we don't have a lot of programming coming up, so these recurring donations are not something that we're interested in right now. But I do see there's a really nice single donation posted for meat and fish. So I'm going to click into this donation and see if it is something that we can pick up. So when you open that up, you can see the donation items. So we've got 20 pounds of meat and fish. I can see that this food is perishable and that it does need to be refrigerated. So that's a cue to know that we will need to bring our coolers and ice packs to pick up this rescue. Additional details, so the donor has specified that this is 20 pounds of marinated meat, which is just great. I can use that in our programming. The pickup date is tomorrow, March 26th from 10 to 1. I know I'm available at that time. And you'll notice this is a little bit of a change from our previous site. So you're only able to see the approximate location of the donor pickup location. So we have the map here to assist us in approximating where that is. I'm familiar with this area because this is within my pickup range. You're only ever going to see donations that are within your pickup range. So I know that this is within my pickup range. It's somewhere I'm willing to travel to pick up. On March 26th between 10 and 1, I'm going to be in this area, so it's going to work really well for me. And that's how I know that I can plan my day to make this rescue work. The other thing I want to bring your attention to here is the details section. So you are going to see the donor is posting specific details regarding this rescue. So he's asking that you're calling this phone number when you arrive, and they'll be able to meet you curbside, which is just a very convenient, great COVID safe thing to do. So we've reviewed all of the details. We're confident we can pick this up safely at the correct time and in full. And so I'm going to select my rescue location, which is my University Heights location actually, and click claim this rescue. So you can see right away that you've got this pop-up. It shows you that you've claimed the donation. You've also got access to some of our safe food handling resources right in this pop-up, which is really, really awesome. And we're going to hit return to available. Again, the little information tab letting you know that there might be a 5 to 10 minute delay before this rescue shows up in the My Rescues tab. So I can click return to available, and we can look in our My Rescues tab. May or may not be present there yet, and actually I can see that it is present already. So we've got our pickup here, Tulux Tandoori is the donor location, and we've now, because we've claimed it, we are released the specific donation address. So we can click back into that to review. And I just want to note you will also get, depending on your notification settings, an email or text notification that you have claimed that rescue. So we can check on our web app, the pickup location, Tulux Tandoori. It's at Utah Drive Northwest in Calgary. And I can review all of the information about the rescue. So again, calling before I arrive. And that's how the available donations view works. I'm gonna show you our completed view here. So you may be familiar, if you've been using the Second Harvest Food Rescue app for a while, that completing your rescues is the last part of rescuing with the Second Harvest Food Rescue app. After picking up, you are meant to log into your profile to review the donation and make sure that you did actually pick it up. So you can see we have one outstanding rescue here. Previously, if you had one outstanding rescue, you would actually be locked out of your account after one. So you would have to complete that rescue before being able to claim anything else. We've updated our system here with the new website. So now you can have up to 3 outstanding rescues, so 1 or 2. Once you get that third one, you will be locked out as you were before. But if you have 1 or 2, that's totally okay. You can complete those at your convenience. So today we're going to log in and complete this rescue from Dina's Deli in Newfoundland. We'll click in here and you can see that we can select missed or completed up at the top. We'll review this. So right, this was our pickup on early this morning from 6 to 7 today. I did in fact go and pick this up, so I'm going to click completed. And you'll be able to fill in the donation item weight. So the donation was posted at 60 pounds. Actually, when we were there to pick up, the donor was able to give us an extra 10 pounds. So it was a little bit more than what they had posted for. I was very happy to take that, so I did. They also offered us some dairy items that they had available. So, you know, they added in 15 pounds of dairy, and we can update that in our confirmation area as well. And finally, we do have this feedback field. It is totally optional, but I did want to highlight it because we do a weekly audit of these feedback comments. If the rescue went really, really well, let us know. If there was something that was a little bit difficult, let us know as well. We take this feedback very seriously, and we do follow up with the comments that need to be followed up with. They help us make your rescues go smoother. If it means we have to contact you to let you know about a feature you may not have known, or reach out to the donor to double check some information about how to reach the location, those are the types of things we can do to make your rescues go a little bit more smoothly. So our rescue today went awesome. Let's say thanks for the extra dairy. And we're going to click submit. We'll return to completed, and you can see that I have no donations to complete. My little one has gone from this section here, and I am not going to get locked out of my account for having more than 3 or more, actually it is, outstanding rescues. As long as you keep this view clean, you won't have any issue accessing your account, which is really, really awesome. Excuse me, I'm just going to take some water.
And Emily, just letting you know we're at 1:30 now.
Thank you. I am going to quickly show you what it looks like when you get logged out. There's not a lot to go over here. I just want to let you know what it sees, what it looks like, and what it feels like. So I have Armando's all set up, but unfortunately he's not reviewed his rescues on time. So he's locked out of his account. He clicks review his rescues and simply has to go through the confirmation process in order to access the rest of his account. So you can see on the left here, I've got a little red X, meaning I cannot access the rest of my rescues until I've completed these pickups. I just wanted to let you know what that looks like here. And that is it here. We're going to go over to the PowerPoint presentation. So excuse me while I update that. And just wanted to show you again what our notifications look like. So this is an email notification about a donation that is potentially available in your area. I'm sure you folks have experienced this. Thanks, Louie. I'm sure you folks have experienced this. I did want to highlight that this is a normal process on the app here. So when you click, you'll see the information here, and you may get a notification that shows that the donation was already claimed. Again, this is very, very normal experience on the app. The donations are available for a limited time, and then once somebody claims them, they are no longer available to another organization. The features that we've introduced with the new website are going to help reduce the amount of times that this is happening. So with the large truck information and all of these features that we're introducing today are going to help make this a little bit less of a common occurrence here, especially the available donations view. Alternatively, if you do claim, you will also get an email notification with your claim information. So just as you could see in your My Rescues tab, the address of your pickup, you can also see in your claim email the address and details of your pickup. So you'll get that available in 2 different places. And that's it for the live tutorial of the Second Harvest Food Rescue app. There are a bunch more features, to be honest, that we could have gone through today, but we didn't want to overload you folks too much. But I did want to do a quick poll just to change the tone a little bit here. So Pat, if you want to throw the next poll up for us, asking you how you primarily access our Second Harvest Food Rescue app. Wow, so we've got a lot of people accessing through the website here. And a good number using both the website and the app. I think that's a really awesome way to use our system, especially if you're out doing pickups. Having the mobile app available on your phone is also going to be a huge help. Really cool to see though. So I'm hoping that most of you are really enjoying all the new changes that we've seen with the new website. It's a little bit easier to access, a little bit easier to understand.
We'll leave this poll up for another 15 seconds and then we'll close it.
Sounds good. So the next section here, we are going to be doing just a really quick overview of the mobile app. Things look a little bit different on the app, just the layout mostly, but the functionality and all of the information is really still there. So I did want to just to highlight some of how that looks. There we go. So it's a little bit more difficult to do a live demo with the mobile app because I'm doing this over my computer, but I did take some screenshots of what it looks like once you've logged into the app. You can see at the bottom of the largest screen here on the right, you've got your 4 button options, the dashboard, your rescues, your activity, and your settings. So I've clicked rescues on this screenshot, and you can see at the top, you've got your available rescues. So it's that same view of donations that are available to be claimed. In the middle, you see your My Rescues button, which is all of your upcoming pickups, and then any confirmations you have outstanding that you may need to complete. So in this example, we are claiming a donation from the available view. So we're clicking on this top one here. When you click on a donation, you're opening up the donation information, just like on the web app, and you will be given an approximate location of the donation as well as all of the details here. At the bottom of the screen, you can click the green button, Claim This Food, if it's something that you're interested in. Similar to the web app, we'll be selecting our rescue location. If you have a few locations within range of this pickup, you'll just have to select which one is going to be actually picking up for this particular rescue. Click Claim, and we will be going to our My Rescues tab to see more information about it. So you'll get this pop-up saying, congratulations, you've claimed this donation. Always an exciting moment. And then you'll be able to view all of the information as we saw earlier in the My Rescues tab. So a really, really quick and easy overview of the mobile app. If you have more questions about the mobile app, don't hesitate to reach out to your head of operations. We'll also take questions, as we mentioned before, at the end of this webinar. You can put your questions into the chat box, and Pat is working hard to keep track of all of those, so we'll be going over them at the end. Really happy to have arrived at this section 3 here, accessing our safe food handling resources. This is such a crucial part of rescuing food on the Second Harvest Food Rescue app. So I'm really, really pleased to be introducing or reminding you, some of you probably already know about these resources, but reminding you of how to access these. So just a note from our terms and conditions, actually. If you are a recipient agency on the Second Harvest Food Rescue app, you are responsible for ensuring that the food you redistribute is safe for human consumption. And we don't take that responsibility lightly. This is This is an important part of rescuing, making sure that you come prepared with the appropriate equipment to pick up food that's going to be fed to your clients and your customers, and making sure that we have the knowledge, the understanding, and the tools available to appropriately rescue surplus food through the Second Harvest Food Rescue app is crucial to our success on the platform. So there are a few ways to access our safe food handling resources. This is our website, secondharvest.ca. That's a really easy way to get into our research and training section. You'll see the drop down there for our e-learning courses. And this is where we're introducing you our brand new e-learning course. So you can see once we click here, to make it clear, there are a couple screens between clicking that link and accessing what you see in my PowerPoint here. You will need to register an account on our training portal, which you can access directly through the link that Pat just added to the chat box, training.secondharvest.ca. You'll have to register an account with us in order to access these, but they are completely free to access and really handy, quick training courses to help you understand food safety at your location while you're rescuing. So you'll click enter this course, and like you can see in the course description, this course is a complimentary shorter training for anybody who is certified in safe food handling. They can use it as a refresher. Anybody who's not certified can also take this shorter training to gain a lot of knowledge about safe food handling in their location. I also wanted to highlight that we do have, along with this brand new course, a guide for safe food safety, a guide to food safety for nonprofits. That's our brand new course we're introducing today. We also have our very, very popular guide to food date labels in Canada available through this same portal. Highly recommend that you check that one out. It's really, really awesome, insightful course about food date labels in Canada. And you may learn some really, really cool things that you just had never considered before by going through that course. Similarly, we do have our food consumption timetable, our safe transport of temperature sensitive food PDF formatted resources. Previously, these were available on our website through the resources tab. And you will notice that the resources tab is currently still visible on the new Second Harvest Food Rescue app web app. With the transition on Monday, we haven't actually loaded those in completely yet at this time, but that is where they will be available. So upon login, you'll be able to see all of our resources through that resources page on the website. If you're really excited about these resources, like I am, they were all recently redesigned. They're so convenient and beautiful to keep on hand and remind you of all of the rules around that. Please reach out to your head of operations. We've all got these, in our back pocket, so to speak. We'll be happy to share them with you by email if you request.
Perfect. And please keep the questions coming in. If I'm not getting back to you immediately, I am recording them so that we can go over them at the end. There also have just been a few questions, Emily, around, who can take these e-learning courses. Are they approved by health authorities in different provinces? And, can one or more person take these e-learning courses? Did you want to kind of address that?
Sure. So definitely more than one person can take the e-learning course at the same time. Anybody who's interested will simply just log in and register their own account with our training portal, and they'll be able to start that course and start learning right away. So that's really, really awesome. I see there's a question specifically about the BC Ministry of Health and the EACH Health Authority in BC. I don't know specifically about those approvals. I'm not sure if maybe Veronica is available. Yeah,
I'm happy to jump in. So these are not certification courses where the government provides the certification. These are refreshers that that anyone can access to just sort of remind themselves of all of the important information. That said, I was the one who had the pleasure of building it, and I'm certified in providing a safe food handler certification. So we made sure, and that certification I can provide is applicable across the country. So every Ministry of Health in every province and territory has approved the certification that we can teach. So while these aren't specifically reviewed by every single ministry, they are built with all the information that is approved by ministries and verified by them.
Wonderful. I hope that answers your question. Thank you, Veronica, for clarifying that. She is our resident safe food handling queen, so we love having her here to help with this. So yeah, safe food handling resources and safe food handling e-learning, we have it all available for you. So if you have questions, again, HOOs, our head of operations in your region, will be so happy to start a conversation with you about safe food handling at your location if you're interested. The final thing I did want to quickly go over is our question period. And before that, just a quick reminder again that we did update our terms and conditions. So you did get an email, as I mentioned before, about the terms and conditions update on Monday when we let you know about this webinar today. So you should have access to those in your email inbox. For convenience, Pat is also putting the link in our chat box today. So if you want to keep those on hand, your continued use of the website is an acceptance of the terms and conditions for your reference. And finally, questions. So Pat, if you want to sort of lead our way through the question period, and between Pat and Veronica and myself, we'll do our best to answer your questions.
Most definitely.
Yeah, maybe I can start us off too, because there's quite a few questions here about the availability of donations. And we know that this is a common challenge, and the reality is, as you guys know, in the nonprofit world, there is just so much need and not always all of the resources. So we have adjusted the software and the technology. Oh, my video's not on, sorry. We have adjusted the software and the technology so that the system better sends you notifications. That means when they get sent to you directly, they get sent to everybody at the exact same moment. Now, that being said, your email server, so I work at Second Harvest. Second Harvest has an email server. Second Harvest email server maybe has some work to do to receive the email in or the notice in. By the time it does that, that can in some cases take 10 minutes, depending on your server. So getting the emails marked as safe for your server will really help speed that up. But the reality is there are some donations that notify 300 people. And, depending on where they're located, what type of food they are. And so if you can imagine, when your chances are 1 in 300 of getting a donation, you're not going to have much success. So one of the things that we're really working on is better refining sort of the options so that the system notifies you about things that are going to be a good fit for your organization. We've added the truck piece, which is Emily explained, which will really help with that. And we'll be adding some more features over time as we're able and get grants to do so. So we know that this is, a common issue, and we definitely hear it often, and we're doing everything we can to help. The reality is the donations are coming from food businesses. And the idea is, if they don't have surplus food, they're not making the food available, which is, also good in some ways, because we don't want food to be wasted. So it's a bit of a chicken or the egg, a bit of a catch-22 sometimes, but we're doing everything we can, and we have heard you for sure. And the other thing I'll just add, there's quite a few questions about the pickup details being available. Now, unfortunately, we have a lot of problems and challenges where our users see the email and they go pick up the donation without claiming it. And then somebody who fairly claimed the donation goes and it's already gone. So we have this all the time. And so we had to do something to help with that, because it's not fair to the user who properly claimed it to show. So we had to hide the business name and address. Now, we didn't want to do that, but just trying to find different ways we can help make sure that there's a fair system. And not to say we didn't want to do it, but it's just, it wouldn't have been the best option. We would have liked to just provide the business details right away. Now, we do have some ideas to improve this, because we have heard a little bit of feedback. And one thing we will do is, we hope, we're again always looking for grants to improve the software and technology and build it out. we'll hope we'll get a grant and we'll be able to add it so that you can see the business type. So while you won't see the exact name, you'll see they are a retailer or a restaurant or whatnot, and that will give you a lot better of an idea of whether the food is suitable for you. So yes, we apologize for any inconvenience, but we really hope that we can keep improving things and make it better. So yeah, just starting with those two.
Happy to have further conversations with your head of operations about these issues too. And I didn't, please note that there are no preferences when it comes to notifications. And while you may think, or it appears that certain organizations are always the one to get it, there is no special trick, rhyme, or reason. Just as Veronica mentioned, is something we are currently working on. And in some cases, there are hundreds of notifications being sent. So I'll go over just some of the questions from the beginning. I did get to answer a lot of these, so maybe we could just go quickly, and Veronica, Emily, if you want to chime in, you can. So it said, first question, will you one day track each participant's organization dashboards, because they also rescue from other places? So, only food that is posted and completed through foodrescue.ca will appear in your dashboards. That being said, you can encourage your partner donors to join Food Rescue and then target you with existing donations that may already be happening, so you can start to complete and track them through your Food Rescue account. Another individual said, my app does not look the same. Is it because I'm not admin? Well, admin, as Emily shows, will give you more access to editing and adding users, but the app, as went over later in the presentation, does not contain as many of the new features as it does in web. So please be mindful that there is more functionality in web right now, but that the app, any changes in apps, they do communicate the same. So if you claim through the app, it will reflect in web, vice versa. If you make edits to your profile in the app, it will transfer to web. My app, if I update, pick up the donation from where we have access truck, but via a partner. So if you have access to a truck, but via a partner, you can indicate at a location level that you do have access to a truck, and then would be notified of larger donations. You would then be able to claim if you know you could arrange with that partner to pick up on the specific date and time. And as V says, you're not provided exact location details, but all important key points to that are available in notification, and you will get an approximate area of where it will be.
If you are updating your truck information with a third-party truck that you occasionally have access to, I would just be extra mindful that you're very carefully reading any of the donation details for notifications you receive, especially regarding required trucks. In the donation notification, you'll see a little truck icon that will flag you right away that that donation does require a truck to pick up. And then making sure before you hit claim that you will have access to your truck on the day that that rescue is posted for pickup. Any cancellations are a complication on the system and can really cause some issues with our donor partners, confusion about the rescue and whether it is actually getting picked up or not. So we just, if you have access to a third-party truck, just make sure you're really reviewing those donation details before you hit claim.
Another one that came in was for organizations like that both receive and distribute surplus, could we have a separate account for a food business? Of course, you can register a separate food donor account to help notify of your partners or distribute food. That being said, you can only have one email associated per contact or account. So if you wanted to have a donor account, you would need a separate email to set that up. We have food from local residents. Do we record this info on the web? So only registered businesses can sign up through Food Rescue and track their food through it. A lot of it comes down to just health and safety, and that we know our food business donors are being inspected and are required by law to follow local health requirements, and that's why that's in place. So any independent donations, while we don't discourage them to local organizations, they don't get tracked and would not be able to register on the site. And go ahead, Emily.
I was just seeing from Susan here in the chat box, she just downloaded the app onto her phone. and it says that the email was already used. You should be able to use the same email address and same password to log in on the mobile app as you do to log in on the website. If you're having trouble logging in on the mobile app using the exact same information you do on the website, reach out to us, reach out to your HOO. If you can scroll up and find that link Pat sent with your head of operations local contact information, you'll be able to get that fixed up. We'll help you with that.
Thank you. Another question that came in, and we have discussed a bit about, we know it's challenging to rescue donations, especially in certain areas. One individual said that, the links and text send them to website, but that it's not very mobile friendly. We do have slotted in our plan to continue to work on our web mobile. We have spent a lot of time focusing on the app as well as now moving into this new environment, but that should be coming in the near future. So we are hoping to improve how mobile looks for web.
We did have actually a person reach out to us this week about how web looks on their phone. And one thing that she found really helpful to learn is that if you click the 3 lines, you can expand the menu, but also you can click it again to collapse the menu. So until we have a little bit more capacity to improve the visuals on our web app for the phone, that's a really good tool to make it a little bit more navigable.
Speaking of mobile and web, we had a comment earlier and just general kind of comments about can we enhance the technology so that, when you have a notification, it sends you to the mobile app if you're on mobile and the web if you're on web. And we hope so. We hope we can do that. We're always working to improve, as I mentioned. We're always looking for more grants to help us improve. We are finding that maintaining the 2 environments can be quite tricky. And so having both the mobile app and the website, it's hard to keep them exactly aligned, and you're always looking for a grant to add a new feature, and then you can't necessarily get it into both. So we're doing our best to balance those. You will find there may be some challenges or times when it maybe doesn't work perfectly. I would say overall, we're able to put more resources into web. So now that we've redone the whole website and the web portal, it's much better than the original one, and it will be more enhanced than mobile. I definitely recommend utilizing this. And we'll hope to be able to put some resources into improving the experience of using the website on your phone, which we know it maybe isn't always perfect, but we'll continue to improve.
Perfect. And then a couple of more. I know we're getting short on time here. One user asked, a lot of donations come in quite early in the morning. When are they scheduled? Well, they're not scheduled. Donation notifications go out when donors post those donations. So I mean, it could be at 2 a.m. in the morning if we've had a cafe, or it could be 8 p.m. at night. There's no standardized time when donations are getting posted out there. There was specific questions about like how often is food available to rescue on Vancouver Island. I would recommend you get in touch with your local rep and honestly just encouraging businesses to get on board or letting them know that this exists so that they can track their work as well. Can definitely help, encourage more businesses to donate and more to get on. And then there were some specific to, can I access my dashboard independently of you, or does my organization have to be a Second Harvest member in order to access food rescue services? So, in order to receive notifications through the Second Harvest Food Rescue app, then you do need to create that account to be notified. That being said, there are lots of food rescue programs that we encourage you to participate within, and Second Harvest within the GTA does also offer other opportunities when it comes to food delivery that can be directed to our other team members internally. And as far as the dashboard goes, it is something that we've been working on for years to develop greenhouse gas calculators as well as dollar value for rescued food. As Emily did go over, it is a universal rate of 1 pound of food equals 1 meal. But as far as it comes to the other metrics around your GHG offset and the value of rescue, those do rely on the calculators that are built into the Second Harvest Food Rescue app. We do also have the ability to provide formal reports. So as mentioned, our dashboard only reflects the last 12 months, but if you've been a user since the get-go, you can always request for us to generate reports with our internal team.
Or better yet, that feature is coming in the site in a few weeks, hopefully. I just wanted to point out too, there have been a lot of questions in the question and answer feature, which is different than the chat feature. And I've been answering them as we go. But I did want to just point out, Stacey, I think you've asked it in both. You're referring to delivery. So this application, this app that you go online and select food rescues, this is pickup only. If you're thinking of delivery, you may be thinking of our direct delivery program where the Second Harvest truck brings you food. That's separate from all of this. You're welcome to join that and join the app. The delivery program does have a long wait list at this point, but if you've been a partner for a while, you'll know all about that. Just wanted to clear that up.
I hadn't noticed this Q&A section, but Amy, I see you asking about reaching out to local stores and restaurants. I love that question, especially if you're in an area where you're not seeing a lot of donation activity. You are a huge way that we can spread the word about the Second Harvest Food Rescue app. Speaking to your local businesses about the availability of this app, the incredible data that they're going to get about what they donate through the Second Harvest Food Rescue app. And we actually have some ambassador letters and some resources as well to assist you in reaching out to donors in your community. So if you are interested in doing that, again, start your conversation with your head of operation in your area. They're going to be able to connect you with that and let you know a little bit about the work that's already likely been done in your neighborhood. They'll be able to assist you with that as well.
A couple more. Individual Fran just asked about when pickups can be scheduled. They can be scheduled up to a month in advance. They can be scheduled for a date range. It doesn't have to be posted the same day. So there is the functionality for donors to offer a lot. And then there was a question too about tax deductibility for businesses in Ontario. So Second Harvest does not issue tax receipts because the food never comes to us. Charitable organizations do have the ability to supply tax receipts when it comes to marketable, the market value of a product. And maybe Veronica, do you mind just chiming in a bit more when
So there are farmers who can get tax credits for the food that they provide for even if it's rescued food. And this is something that if Second Harvest receives the food, we'll do, but if Second Harvest doesn't receive the food, we cannot provide a receipt, but as a charity, you're welcome to. We on the app have charities and nonprofits, so nonprofits aren't able to provide receipts under the CRA. But other than farmers, if food is rescued, meaning the business purchased it for their own business needs and it didn't work out for that, and then they're just providing it as a secondary means to an organization, that's not technically receivable. What's receivable would be a business purchasing food to donate directly to you or creating food to donate directly to you. So for all intents and purposes, we're in the food rescue operations, and in general, that's not receivable with the exception of farmers.
Oh, Pat, you're still muted.
There was another question just about can homeless shelters join to receive food, and as mentioned, any not-for-profit or charitable organization can apply to register for the program, and once that application is submitted, it'll be reviewed by our operations. And how there was, any other programs you're interested through Second Harvest, please go to secondharvest.ca and look under what we do. Under not-for-profits, there is a section where you can fill out an application to also join the direct delivery program. And once again, if you want more questions general about that, then please respond or please send us a note to our general inbox and we'll make sure it gets directed to the right people, and I will throw that.
And I just want to say we just arrived at 2 p.m. So thank you so much for dedicating your time to learning a little bit more about our new Second Harvest Food Rescue app web application. We're so proud to have shared this with you, to have made this available, this wonderful tool, if I do say so myself, that helps you rescue surplus food from businesses in your area. If you have any further questions, please reach out to your head of operations. They're going to be happy to get to know you, get in touch, and let you know all about what's going on in your regions. So thank you from us at the support team.
Thank you.
Wonderful day.
Bye, everybody.